Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, Moletrap here, and you're probably going to hear me say that again in a moment because I've just recorded a game, and I'm recording this at the end because I forgot to mention at the beginning of the game what the game was from. The game you're about to see is from a series from an invitational, a Chinese invitational called PLU, and I want to warn you ahead of time in case you don't like cliffhangers. I only have 2 replays from this best of 5, so I'm going to do those 2 replays because I like the players in this match, and I like watching them play. But I'm not going to be able to finish it, and I will try and find the VODs, but there's no guarantee. So if you're going to get to the end of Game 2 and want to know what happens next, and it's going to kill you, and you don't want to just go and spoil yourself on, the results page on a forum or something like that, then sorry about that. But just fair warning. But this is going to be a pretty good series, I think, so I hope you enjoy it regardless. Alright, now I'm going to cut to my other intro that I said before I realized that I forgot to say all that. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Moletrap here, coming at you with another attempt at doing a replay commentary. We're going to see if this works out. I think this is the 3rd or 4th time I've tried casting a replay. And, well, we'll see how it goes. One of them, the replay was broken. Actually, no, the two I remember, the replays ended up being broken or there's some issue, so... Here we go. Another time's the charm. I know a lot of people recommended, oh, you can change the executable back to the original of what it was when the file was created, and then you can... I didn't want to bother with all that stuff, to be honest. It seems, yeah, because it's no guarantee it's going to work. I may just put in a lot of work and then nothing would happen. So, anyway, I'm really excited about this game. This is a game between one of my favorite players, Zero, and appropriately enough, he's in the purple zerg down here in the bottom left. I'll tell you why that's appropriate in a moment, but first, this is also Bisu in the top left in the red, and really looking forward to this match. It's going to be pretty cool. I'll say this is appropriate, these purple, and we see a pool first, by the way, by Zero. That's really interesting. Getting that pool on. Now I can turn on all these doohickeys if you want. I think I asked before, and 1 or 2 people said they wanted them turned off. So we're going to do it old school style. We're not really going to keep much on. I guess we can go to this and just check real quick that we're looking at like a very quick pool. He's now at 11 supply. But I'm going to mostly keep those turned off, and we'll just do old school style without any fanciness going on. Anyway, this is a game between these 2 players that was part of and we see the forge going up first, by the way. If Bisu had scouted quickly and seen that there was a hatchery first, he probably would have gotten a nexus of his own pretty quickly there. That's the Bisu style. Ooh, almost got the hatchery down. It was a moment away, and puts down a pylon as well to stop that hatchery from being built. Very cheeky, and it's going to be a pretty decent problem for Zero. We might see him build another hatchery on the high ground here, but is he making... Oh, he's making drones. Making 2 zerglings and drones. So he's getting a scout in over here as well and says, okay, well, Bisu's ready for these lings. He scouted me early, so I know he's going to react to it. And so instead of investing a lot of money in zerglings right off the bat, he just makes 2 zerglings. And now he's going to switch into getting an extractor as well. So I was going to say if he made a bunch of zerglings, he might... and looks like the pylon was canceled. But Zero's just going to put his... next base over here at this other spot. Pretty safe to do. It still has its own little ramp over here that's pretty well protected. He's going to take his 3rd hatchery here as well. Yeah, so pretty normal stuff here. Bisu's going to be taking his 2nd base too. With the gateway there, he'll put a zealot in this little gap. It'll be a nice little cozy thing. And, obviously we do see he's running this probe round, so he sees that there's not much of a threat. So he's built this 1 cannon just in case, and he's not going to overinvest in extra cannons or defenses right now because he knows there's not much of a threat. So it's kind of like this who's going to flinch first. This game of like chicken where it's like who's going to flinch first and build units, and then I'm going to defend against it kind of thing. Cybernetics core going on in the background with the gas, so both players taking up. Alright, let me talk about Zero and the purple real quick, because Zero is one of my favorite players of all time. He's super, super cool. I love his style. He is one of the few players that at the end of the golden age of Brood War, in like 2011-ish, when Brood War was still being played professionally, exclusively, and the Kespa players hadn't switched over to StarCraft 2 at all yet. and they were still kind of maintaining it. And before, you know, on GameNet started doing StarCraft 2, for example, Zero was one of the few players that was still trying new stuff. And, you know, even to this day in 2020, players are still trying new stuff. So I don't want to say like, okay, well, just innovation stopped. But a lot of the metas in Brood War had basically kind of gotten very stale, and Zero was one of the few people that was pushing those metas. Like, he was one of the few, he was the first person that I saw, that I remember seeing, that actually started doing defensive stuff in Zerg versus Zerg, and started building queens and stuff like that, and not just, you know, like meme queens, but like actual using queens in battle kind of a thing, and not just like because it's super late game and he's got an infinite minute money. Look at this Zealot running in here, doing a little perp walk down into, I don't know, I said perp walk, but it's for some reason the Zealot looks like he's walking funny. I don't know why. Walking in here into the natural expansion, gets a drone, gets a Zergling, and it's going to get a little surround on, and gets a second Zergling as well. Not really well microed by Zero, possibly because he's worried about this Zealot over here as well. And I think we can remove, nope, not that one. We can remove, not that one. That one. We can remove that thingy. That's kind of handy. Actually, there's not really, I guess this is just for selecting stuff and see what's going on, but we can leave that off too. Get a little bit more map surface area going on here. But in any case, these Zealots are being super annoying, and he kind of has to deal with them with these Zerglings, because otherwise they'll pop out and kill drones. But we're just seeing him not really microing very well against these, and we're seeing him march another Zealot back into this cool spot where he can just not get surrounded very well. Finally, one Zealot goes down. Looks like the other Zealot got maybe another Ling or another drone before it went down as well. Corsair is now out, so the harassment does not stop. Alright, before I get too far into this, because we got a Spire up, and we got, okay, this is why I need this thing on, so we can see what units he's building. Before I get too far into this, I love Zero, and one of the coolest things about him was he had these, like, purplish glasses that he wore. And it was very distinct. He wore purple glasses, maybe kind of like a violet color, I guess. And it was just really neat. And I actually, when I got new glasses shortly after I left Korea, I got glasses that were almost the same as his, just because I thought they were really cool. So anyway, so that's why purple is interesting. We got these Zerglings chilling outside the front door of Bisu. Bisu's like, it's fine. I got a nice wall. Got these 3 Zealots. He's actually going to push out with his Zealots and try and kill off some of those Zerglings, scare them away so they can't see exactly what's going on here. I haven't checked out Bisu's base much in a while. We've kind of been seeing the result of what he's been doing because of the Corsairs out on the map. And he's actually not just built 1 or 2 Corsairs and stopped. He's built. He's continuing to build these Corsairs. He's going to try and go for air superiority here. We've seen a couple Scourge in the air that have been built to just kind of keep that Corsair count down. But it looks like it's funny. I just clicked on this Zerg to see what its kill count was, because I'm like, how many Corsairs has he killed with his Scourge? No, the Scourge, they don't end up with a kill count. They doesn't work that way. Sorry about. I'm just laughing at myself though. That was my instinct. Like, I wonder how many Corsairs he's killed. Anyway, Zealots moving in here. Zerglings pushing around. Now, this is an interesting situation where Zero's going to have to defend 2 spots at once. So he's going to have to build some static defenses. He's got one sunken here, a beautifully placed sunken. Look at this beautiful Sim City. Sim City is pretty difficult with Zerg, possibly because of the fact that, like, it's usually not as much of an issue, so people don't think about it very much. But he's built beautiful Sim City here. A Spore Colony, actually. Oh, there's a sunken underneath those Overlords as well. I didn't see it first. So that's really, really cool. I like this, the Spore and the sunken. 1 Spore, 1 sunk. It helps you against the Corsairs. It helps you against DTs. It's perfect. Perfect little static defense. He's got a second sunk here as well. And that Overlord is finally going to go down. The Scourge are coming in, though. And he has been split, but I think he might be at critical mass. Once you get to 5 or 6 Corsairs, you can just kind of A-move and kill all the Scourge. And by the fact that Bisu is running away, I'm going to guess it's 6, because he's got 5 right now and he's still running. And look at this. He's got 2 Scourge kind of cutting off the side pass, so when he pivots to the left, those Scourge can possibly cut him off. And is he going to be able to intercept? He's on a parallel course. Plot an intercept course. Oh, he lands 1, lands 2, and doesn't kill. Oh no, he killed one. He killed 1 Corsair there, and the other one's giving chase, but I don't think it's going to land. He's going to be able to get back to the cannon. So 1 Corsair taken out for 3 Scourge. Not the best situation. This Scourge is like, haha, Zealots, you can't attack me. I'm going to just continue to scout the front door, and, well, these Corsairs have something to say about it. Up to 7 Corsairs now. Air superiority has been established, and of course, if the Protoss has air superiority, you get Hydralisks, so that's what we're seeing right now. Zero's starting to get Hydras. He's got multiple bases. This is really interesting. This is actually, I feel like this is a lot of defense. This is a lot of defense, and yeah, this is a lot of defenses going on. A lot of static defenses. We got multiple Sunkens and Spores in both locations. 3 Sunkens over here. And it kind of makes sense because the thing is if you have all Hydralisks to, you know, deal with the Corsairs and kind of do things, and forget that thought, he's gotten Mutalisks. What? What? He's gotten Mutalisks and Scourge. He's going to try and retake the air, which is a gutsy move. Fontaine Ken is going down there. I do not know if Bisu has scouted this, actually. I mean, he hasn't scouted it because all those Mutas just popped out at once. He's running across the map. After this expansion, these Zealots are going to have nothing to say about the Mutalisks in the air, and the Scourge count is significant. This is enough Scourge that he can try and counter these Corsairs, but there's 8 Corsairs now. I think that might be enough. He can just kill off the Scourge if they go in for an attack. Is he going to try and go in? No, he's going to try and run away with those Scourge. Which is wise, I think, especially if they're spread out there. Well, actually, the spread out is good because then the Corsairs can't do a lot of splash damage. So both players kind of afraid of each other's air army, going in with Mutas and Zerglings to take out the front door. These Corsairs are coming in. He's going to have to do something about these Scourge here. The Corsairs are attacking. The Scourge come in for a nice surround. Get a decent amount of... Oh, nice! A Psystorm takes out several of the Scourge. He's able to pick off that last one with a quick attack by these Corsairs. So still fearful of the Corsairs, and this is not the best gambit here. He's lost some Mutalisks as well, lost those Scourge, and this is not the best situation at all for Zero. Now these Zealots are running across the map. I think he was hoping, you know, if he could run in here. I don't know if he's aware of the extra Sunkens here, and that's the reason for those extra Sunkens, because otherwise a Zealot run by would just come in there and destroy the base. We see that so often. Lots of nice Sunkens here as well. We got a little tiny little door for the Hydras to get out if they are made, it looks like. But just a beautiful defensive situation by Zero. The problem, unfortunately, is that it's 3 base versus 3 base, and the Zerg always wants to be at least a base up on the Protoss, and so he needs to get a 4th base pretty soon. It will be undefended. Maybe if he took like one of these random weird side expansions that would be a little bit hidden. Or maybe if he just killed Bisu. That's an option as well. Running across the map. Oh, it looks like the Mutas got completely picked off. I didn't see that happening. They might have been trying to pick off the High Templar. The fact that this went to some low shields means that's the case. A huge clump of Hydralisks here. It's a solid force, but the Templar are going to have to scare them off. We're going to have to see. This Templar may not have enough. Okay, they just got enough energy, and there's the Storm coming out from one of them. Enough energy, and the other one for a Storm as well. He's going to have to dodge for dear life. He's going to have to bait out these Storms and then run away in order to preserve his Hydralisk count. And I'm going to actually check this production tab, I think. No, that's not the right one. No, that's the right. Where's the production tab? There we go. That's not the production tab either. I'm so bad at these replays. Where's the? Did I hit the? Okay, there's the production tab. He is making more Hydralisks, so he's continuing to pile up on those Hydras, but going in for a little bit of an attack here on the 3rd base. I'm sorry, my own lack of ability to deal with the control system on the replays has flustered me, and he's routing lots and lots of Hydras across the map. He loses several over here at this attack, doesn't really accomplish much, kills off a couple cannons, opens up this door, which is nice if he's going to go in with Zerglings at some point, but in the meantime isn't really doing anything significant. It looks like he's got 3 or 4 control groups of Hydras. I think if it was a heads-up battle without Storms landing, Zero would win this battle, but there's Storms though, and he's got 3 Templar here, a lot of Storms going down, Corsairs coming in to kill off the Scourge before they can land on themselves. Very nicely done. He's keeping his Hydras spread out. This is actually really interesting, keeping them spread out in different clumps so that they can't be stormed. Not depending on having to run away from the Storms, basically. It looks like he's lost a lot of Hydras, but maintained the bulk of his Hydra army. He still has about, 2 control groups of Hydras left at this point. Of course, producing more and switching back into getting more Mutas. I'm not sure why he keeps making Mutas against this giant Corsair amount. I mean, basically, I think the idea is maybe he can try and snipe the High Templar. If the Corsairs aren't there, he can run in, snipe the High Templar. If the High Templar try and storm the Mutalisks, then, they storm their own units because the High Templar are clumped in their own units a little bit. But it's with 8 Corsairs, and not building enough Scourge to do one massive kill off. I mean, he'd have to make like a 12, 18 Scourge and surround these Corsairs in order to kill them off. So I don't know if that's really the best option here. But again, the fact that he's got this giant death ball of Protoss units means that Zero is kind of stuck with just 3 bases. He can't get a 4th base because otherwise he would just go in and kill it very quickly. So he's forced to play off 3 bases and just try to contain Bisu. But Bisu has complete map control at this point. Storm going down, actually not doing very much. That's not an effective Storm. He's only got a few Storms left actually in the bank. There's one of them though, landing on a lot of Hydras. They're all very, very low, and it looks like there's GG from Zero. Bisu's going to take game number 1, and wow, very, very nicely played. And yeah, I feel like, you know, I'm obviously not one to question Zero on his play, but I'll just say it didn't work out for him to go for trying to get the control of the air, because I mean, he just wasted so much money. Imagine if those 12 Mutalisks that he made over the course of the game, and maybe a dozen Scourge, if those were another 2 control groups of Hydralisks right now coming in from the side, right? This is a completely different game. This is not GG. This is actually possibly an even game, maybe even a 0 win, you know? So it just didn't work out for him, and maybe he wasn't expecting Bisu to keep making Corsairs that long, because he ended up with, I think, 8 Corsairs, and maybe that's the magic number is 8 or 9. I thought it was 5 or 6, but maybe that's with weapons upgrade. But you know, once you get a certain number, they're basically immune to Scourge, and at that point you just have map control, you have air control. So anyway, Zero not able to pull it off, and Bisu takes game number 1. And I forgot to mention this at the beginning, although you probably know, because I think I'm going to edit on a little thing at the beginning so that you know. But yeah, I don't have the rest of the series other than game 2, so I'm going to do game 2 as well. But spoiler alert that there is no conclusion to this series on my channel. But anyway, I'm going to move on to game number 2, and so check out for that video either right after this one or shortly following, if you know, it might be the next day or something like that when I can get it online. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.